I'm Lyn Pentecost, and I've been a member of Middle for almost 40 years. And I have a confession. I miss our building. So I first noticed Middle Church in the late 80s. I would walk by the facade on 2nd Avenue a few times a week, but I hadn't thought much about it until one day, a few weeks before Christmas, there was a sidewalk sandwich board inviting me to come to a jazzy Christmas Eve service. Why not? Who could not do that? Thank you, Gordon. So, though I had grown up in a church in New Jersey, once I moved to the city, I was no longer affiliated. The Reformed church I grew up in was a progressive church. It was an outlier. Anti-war, pro-choice, engaged in civil rights issues, and well, I doubted I'd find another one like that. I kept busy in the East Village as an artist and community organizer, but something was missing. Then we started our family, and the traditions of my childhood filled with wonderful community. I needed that again. With its focus on community and social justice, Middle was all that and more. Middle was a spiritual home that I had been looking for. Back then, New York City, and there are many old-timers in the audience today who remember this, and the East Village in particular, was a mess. Real estate abandonment, social disinvestment, the streets saturated with drugs were a huge problem. Half of our building stock was in ruins, and by the end of the 80s, AIDS had hit us hard. Middle's answer, Middle's gift to this community in pain, the doors were flung open, and all were welcome to, quote, come as they are, invited to participate in building the beloved community that we are today. For many, Middle Church right here on 2nd Avenue was our refuge, our family, our true home. We were a small congregation back then with a tiny gospel choir and a big vision. I joined the consistory. Gordon didn't have the word no in his vocabulary. Everything was yes. We started an after-school arts center for kids, a photography gallery, held Celebrate Life meals for people with AIDS, street fairs, picnics, invited small businesses and neighborhood organizations to share our space. We even founded the Lower East Side Girls Club right there in the basement. This year, between the fire and the pandemic, we have been tested. All of New York City has been tested, but we, Middle Church, have experience in how to do rebirth. Reflecting back on my family's lifetime of active membership, I realized this: Middle Church saved the East Village. We were the epicenter of its revival. I've long lived by the words of the poet and activist Grace Paley, who famously said, "The only recognizable future of hope is action." Middle is hope made visible because we know when and how to take action. Now is the time. Join the movement. If you give generously of your time, talents, and money, our physical home, our sanctuary, will rise again. Middle Church saved us. Now it's time for us to save Middle. Amen.